Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here. What I got for you today is a review of the little JJRC JJ810 Nano Quadcopter. Now the JJ810 is another Nano Quadcopter out there. This one comes with prop guards. That's a major problem with other Nano Quadcopters. Normally they're flown by beginners indoors, and the beginners smack into all kinds of objects while they're flying. These little Nano Quadcopters do need some type of prop guards, particularly for beginner flyers. Unfortunately, the prop guards that I've seen designed in the past generally have been a little bit too heavy for these little Nano Quadcopters to lift. This one here seems to be designed very well, okay? It seems pretty tough, and it should provide good protection of these prop guards. I don't know if it's removable or not. It probably is, but it would require also removing the props, and I'm not about to do that, because once you remove a nano or a micro quadcopter prop, you should entirely replace it, because they'll start to pop off. They only, it should be only installed once, and if they pop off, then you should replace it with a new prop. Otherwise, they'll just keep popping off. But this little quadcopter doesn't have the rectangular charging slot. This one has a circular charging slot, circular charging plug, but it also has an on-off switch. The range of this isn't going to be very spectacular. I didn't see the range advertised, in fact, for this. We'll find out today what it is. But other than that, it is a basic quadcopter. It can do flips. It can do, you can change the rates, but there is no mention either of one key return or headless mode with this quadcopter, so I don't expect to see headless mode. These buttons on the top here are in the instructions according to the instructions for left and right trim of the roll and forward and back trim of the pitch, but are not for one key return or headless mode. But we'll find out if that's true or not. Sometimes they hide headless mode in these quadcopters, and you find them like Easter eggs. So turning on the transmitter, binding it to the quadcopter. Okay, transmitter is bound. Again, which one is the right button? So because I've got a little bit of a breeze here today, I'm going right to high. Oh no, that's flip. Going right to high. Okay, there's beginner. We'll start off with beginner. And I took too long, and it shut itself off. Start over again. Turning on the quadcopter. Turning on the transmitter. Binding it. Going straight to the air. It needs a little bit of trim. Let's see if I can, before trimming it, let's just see if I can do a calibration. Either this way, down to the left, down to the out, down to the right, up and right. I can't seem to see any trim calibration of this. So I am going to trim it the old-fashioned way with trim buttons. Okay, there we go. This is beginner rate. Very smooth. Very stable. In fact, I'm going to go to, got a little bit of a breeze here. Going to intermediate rate, and I'm going to flip toss it. See how it performs at intermediate. Didn't like to be flip tossed. We are going to start over again. That did not like to be flip tossed, so we're not going to toss it in the air. And I'm going right to intermediate rate to fly. And this is intermediate rate. I'm going to go out into the field too, get away from the concrete. I don't want to break this little quadcopter just yet. Now let's try the flips. That's a flip. This is more of an indoor flyer, folks. I can tell you that. Now let's see, try high rate. And I lost contact with the quadcopter. I don't know what happened there, folks. I'm turning on the transmitter again, see if I can rebind it. So, I had a little bit of a drop out there. I don't know what that was. Okay, back to beginner rate. expert rate. Expert rate funnels. I'm going to fly the remainder in expert rate here. Expert rate seems to be pretty darn nimble. On the turning, this is the yaw rate in expert rate. Yaw rate in beginner is very slow, very slow. Intermediate, a little faster. Expert, this is expert yaw rate. I got the throttle off and it didn't turn off. Let's see if that takes off there. Now when it crashes, if you crash, this one you're going to need to turn it off and on again to reset its gyros. The gyros don't like being in a crash on this little one, and the way to reset them seems to be is to turn off the quadcopter and transmitter, and turn the quadcopter back on, rebind the transmitter, and I'm going back to expert rate, and all is good. So you're going to need to do that with this one, but it does nice funnels for a little Nano. Flips. And the range on this appears to be about 10 meters. So it doesn't have good range. More of an indoor flyer, folks. And because of that crash, I again am going to rebind it out here on the concrete. So the range is about 10 meters. Not very long. More of an indoor flyer, again. So primarily indoor in your living room on those cold winter days. But take it outdoors, it's not doesn't have very much legs to it. Flips, left flip. And I will fly the remainder of it. Don't want to go too far again because, okay, there goes. It appears to be that's the flight time. Let's see if the lights are blinking. And yes, the lights are blinking. So that's the flight time you get with it also. So the JJRC JJA10, I don't know, you know, it's more of an indoor flyer. It's not an outdoor flyer at all. It'll be good for in your living room on those cold winter days. You got blade protectors with it. That's also going to protect these propellers, which seem to be the big problem with little Nano quadcopters. But overall, you know, I'd give this about 3 stars, 2 to 3 stars. So Quadcopter 101, signing out.